I wanted to make a video about my motorized bike. It's a 4-stroke engine with the friction drive. It's the 49cc Huasheng Chinese Honda clone engine. It's actually very nice, very reliable. Starts on the first or second pull. It's been great. The reason I'm making this video is because I built another 4-stroke engine motorized bike with the standard chain drive with the bike sprocket and everything, and it was just a pain in the ass. It was hard to build and hard to maintain. I would have several issues with it. At one point the transmission broke while I was riding it, and then at another point the chain failed and actually messed up the back wheel, and I decided to just get a friction drive kit instead. It was a lot easier to build, a lot easier to put together, and it drives really good, and I feel very confident with it compared to the standard setup where there's so many parts and so many things can go wrong with it. The bike I'm using is a Huffy Cranbrook that you can get at Walmart. It's just a standard beach cruiser. It's like $90, $90 to $100. You can get them even cheaper if they're on sale. It's a very nice bike. It's just one speed with your standard hub built-in brake, so you just pedal backwards to brake. Take a look at it here. So one big thing that I would highly recommend is to get a very good fuel line. So even when I built the other bike, it's the same engine that I had on the other bike, the fuel line would always leak. Like you would put it on, let me show you at the fuel lines that I'm talking about. So this is like your standard fuel line you'll see all over the internet. They give you like 3 feet of it for like $10, and it's very, I mean, it looks nice and it'll work, but then you got to use some like hose clamps. And even if you use the hose clamps in a day or two, I found that I was leaking oil. I mean, not oil, sorry, gasoline. You can see how squishy it is and how flexible. It's really cheap. It's just cheap rubber hose. I don't even think it's made for gasoline to run through it. At first I thought it was a fluke, and I replaced it. Then about a week later, I was noticing that I was leaking gas anyway. Didn't matter what I did. So I went ahead online and found some really good 3/16 fuel line. Here's the fuel line. See if I can get this in the picture. So this fuel line is it's thicker, and I'm squeezing as hard as I can, and I can't bend it. It's very hard, but it's still somewhat malleable, you could say. And I put that on the bike, and because it's see-through, you can also see the fuel going through it. Makes it very convenient. The only thing though is that this fuel line, you can't just force it in. It won't go in because it's so hard. So you actually have to get a heat gun, one of these that you can get like in Harbor Freight for like $10. Use a heat gun and just heat up wherever you want to connect it right here for about 10 seconds or so. That's all you need, and then it'll go right in. Once it's in and it cools down, it's in there. There's no hose clamps or anything. So here's the one going to the engine. Here's the one going to the fuel filter. You can still smooth those a little bit. Fuel line, not a single leak. I put it on and never had a single leak after that. It's amazing. I highly recommend you guys get it. It's like $6 and you get 25 feet of it. So not only is it cheaper than the cheap knockoff fuel lines you get, but you get 25 feet of it. You can use for, I guess, your lawnmower and other small engines. I'll put a link to it in the description below on Amazon. It's like $6, like I said, for 25 feet. I still have an extra roll, I guess, if I want to build another one. But yeah, don't get this cheap crap that you see all over the internet, because it'll just end up cracking or end up leaking even if you use a hose clamp, and it's garbage. Get yourself some good fuel line. Other than that, like I said, the bike's been great, very stable, very easy to ride, super easy to put together. Didn't even have to take off the chain or the wheel or anything. You literally just bolt it on and it comes right on. The only thing I would say is I guess the friction drive roller, it doesn't sit quite center. It's kind of offset to the left. So I don't know if you can see this on camera. The wheel, the tire, for the most part, it's wearing slightly more on the left side, but it's wearing just pretty fast overall compared to the front. That's another thing with the friction drive. It's very convenient, but you see the front's almost like brand new, and then the back is kind of wearing down already. And I've ridden it a few miles, been taking it out every now and then. It's fun. And that's the only thing I would say. I kept the tires from the old bike that broke down, so I'll just be able to swap it out. I adjusted the idle on it so it can give a nice low P idle. It's pretty fun. I like it a lot. But yeah, overall, just for ease of use and installation, I highly recommend the friction drive kit. It is a little pricey compared to just getting the standard engine with the bike sprocket that it comes with. But I'll put a link to it on the descriptions from Bikeberry. It's awesome. It'll make your lives a lot easier. Let me go ahead and turn it on for you guys, see if I can do it one-handed. But yeah, you can kind of see the fuel bubbles going in there. It's pretty sweet. It's another pro of the fuel line. So I just turned the fuel line on. I haven't turned this on in about 2 weeks or so. So fuel line's on. Choke is on. Choke is facing the pull starter. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks, so it took a couple pulls. So you can see the fuel going into it. Pretty cool. The only thing you do gotta make sure is that you don't press it down too hard. Like the drive roller, it's gotta be like, I guess in between, not too soft and not too hard. If you accelerate and give it gas and you hear it whining, then it's too low. You need to give it more pressure, but not where it's overly tight. Otherwise, you're gonna wear your tire down even faster. So I can ride this with camera in one hand. But yeah, there it is. 4-stroke kit with a friction drive. It's probably the easiest motorized bike you can build. Just using a standard beach cruiser. All you do is take off the back fender and bolt it on. Like I said, just do yourself a favor, get the better gas line, not the cheap crap you see on all over the internet. I'll put a link in the description for that and for the quick drive kit if you guys want to get it. But yeah.